What is up, everybody? Welcome back to Get a Grip Sports Basketball. Today we are going to be looking back at the 2015-2016 season and seeing how much the NBA has changed in the span of 5 years. Let's hop right into the video. Looking at the bottom part of the standings, we had the New York Knicks and Nets in the East and the Minnesota Timberwolves and Phoenix Suns in the West. And I mean, we still had some pretty decent superstars in these teams. We had Carmelo Anthony still with the Knicks. We had young Zach LaVine. Andrew Wiggins was young back then. But any of these teams never even reached 35 wins on their season. Coming into the season, Minnesota looked like a serious threat. It never came to pass, and I mean, it was a disappointing season overall for the Timberwolves. But these four teams weren't even the worst of the worst. The two worst teams in the East and the West were the Philadelphia 76ers and the Los Angeles Lakers. They combined to win exactly 27 games, with the 76ers winning 10 and the Los Angeles Lakers winning 17. Fast forward 5 years, the 76ers are the number 1 seed heading into the playoffs, and the Los Angeles Lakers are coming off of a championship looking to repeat. It's crazy to think how big of an impact LeBron James, Anthony Davis, Joel Embiid, and Ben Simmons have made on their respectable teams. Now, looking at the all-star rosters, almost every single player has either changed teams or retired. The only people that I can see on this list that have stayed on their teams is Kyle Lowry in the East. But Dwayne Wade retired. John Wall is no longer with the Wizards. Isaiah Thomas is a free agent currently. LeBron James is a Laker. Paul Millsap, I don't know why he was a all-star at one point. I mean, he has lost a lot of his firepower, and he's definitely not as good as he used to be. Pau Gasol on the Bulls made an all-star. He was the replacement selection, though. A bit of an interesting choice there. And now let's look at the Western Conference All-Stars. Looking back at the Western Conference All-Stars, I mean, this wasn't incredibly stacked. We had an old Kobe Bryant and aging LaMarcus Aldridge, and I mean, we had Draymond Green, so it wasn't that good of a team. But you gotta love some players in their old teams, like Chris Paul on the Clippers, KD and Russell Westbrook's tandem over with the Thunders. Those were some of the best days of 2010's basketball. DeMar DeRozan on the Raptors, which we saw over on the Eastern Conference, teaming up with Kyle Lowry. That was must-watch TV. Now DeMar DeRozan is in his 30s, and he's with the Spurs now, so he has it pretty rough. And Kyle Lowry's on a team that can contend, not a title contender, but definitely somebody who will either get a play-in game or make it to the playoffs. Now, heading into the NBA playoffs, we have the Warriors in the 1 seed, the Spurs in the 2 seed, Thunder in the 3 seed, Clippers in the 4 seed, Trailblazers in the 5 seed, Mavericks in the 6 seed, Memphis Grizzlies in the 7th seed, and the Rockets in the 8th seed. Looking at the West side, we have the Cavaliers in the 1st seed, the Toronto Raptors in the 2nd seed, 3rd seed is the Heat, 4th seed is the Hawks, 5th seed is the Celtics, 6th seed is the Charlotte Hornets, which, I mean, pretty surprising for the team that they had that year. 7th seed, the Indiana Pacers, and the 8th seed, the Detroit Pistons. Now, this was the year that the Warriors lost less games than the 76ers won. They won 73 games and only lost 9. An NBA record. It was absolutely astonishing at the time. It looked like they really were going to win the title. Nobody was going to come in their way, and that ended up happening. They go through the Rockets. They beat up the Clippers. Thunder gave them a bit of a struggle, but they advance. And the Warriors, with one of the greatest teams of all time, defeat the Cleveland Cavaliers, led by LeBron James. Now, looking at the Eastern Conference, the Hornets pulled off a pretty big shocker, upsetting the Heat. However, it looked like it was destined to be Toronto and Cleveland from the beginning, and it came to pass. Cavaliers ended up beating the Raptors. If LeBron James had Stephen Curry or Klay Thompson, or I'm not going to say Draymond, he's not even on their level. If he had either one of those guys, they would have won that championship. Switch him out with Kyrie Irving, it would have been not even fair. The Cleveland Cavaliers ended up getting their revenge next year. However, the Warriors won this battle. Now, comparing this playoff battle to the playoffs that happened last year in 2020 and the playoff field in 2021, everything looks different. The Golden State Warriors are still led by Stephen Curry. However, Klay Thompson is no longer a factor because of his injuries. The Cleveland Cavaliers missed the playoffs completely and are probably going to get a top 5 pick in the NBA draft. The Toronto Raptors are still a good team, and Kyle Lowry is still the leader of them. However, they are definitely not going to make the Eastern Conference Finals. Oklahoma City Thunder, they missed the playoffs this year. I mean, they don't know of Russell Westbrook, Kevin Durant, James Harden wasn't on the team then, but I mean, still, both of those guys weren't there in 2021, and the Thunder are probably going to get a top 10 pick. Looking at the lottery teams, the Utah Jazz are going to be the 2 seed, Phoenix Suns are going to be the 1 seed, Philadelphia is going to be the 1 seed in the East, the New York Knicks are in the playoff, the Nets are one of the best teams in the NBA. Giannis Antetokounmpo is now a great player, MVP winner, and the Bucks are in the playoffs. And the New Orleans Pelicans have the next great one in Zion Williamson. And finally, the Los Angeles Lakers are coming off of a National Basketball Association championship. A world championship, if you ask me, because the NBA is the highest level of competition of basketball. And LeBron James is still competing in finals now. It's absolutely crazy to think how good he's done to maintain his skill sets, even though he's getting up there in age. And how he can turn any team around. Yes, he needs a number 2. Anybody needs a number 2. Jordan had Pippen, Curry had Thompson, LeBron has Anthony Davis. And I think that this year, I'm going to do a little early prediction video, and it's going to be the Los Angeles Lakers versus the Brooklyn Nets. The Lakers get their repeat. And now we turn our attention to the NBA awards for the 2015-2016 season. Stephen Curry ended up winning the MVP, and it was fully deserved too. I mean, they're putting up 30 points a game and averaging about 7 assists a game. That's something that an MVP should put up, and that's what should be expected from MVP winners. Curry was absolutely unbelievable this season. Kawhi Leonard and LeBron James came in second and third, and fully deserved for them too, but Stephen Curry just outshined everybody in the league. The Rookie of the Year competition was decided mid-season. It was a very interesting draft class that included Jahlil Okafor. I mean, I made a video about this draft class. I'm just going to go into it a little deeper now. Karl Anthony Towns won the award, as you can see on your screen currently. Second was Kristaps Porzingis, who now is partnered with Luka Doncic, and they are an amazing duo down in Dallas. And third was Nikola Jokic for Denver. Now, Nikola Jokic is the frontrunner for the NBA MVP award, and I mean, Karl Anthony Towns is still on a lottery team. So, career-wise, Jokic has won this. Team-wise, Jokic definitely the best player out of these three. However, there are some other players in this draft who are very good, such as Devin Booker, Emmanuel Mudiay, who was the face of the Denver organization for a while. Nikola Jokic definitely did deserve this award. Karl Anthony Towns, tremendous season, and Kat deserved it. But it's just interesting to see how Nikola Jokic has evolved into probably the best player out of this draft class. The Defensive Player of the Year award went to none other than Kawhi Leonard, who is absolutely locked down. He was a nightmare for opposing offenses. He wasn't afraid to get down there and get the steal or get up there and get the block. However, I don't think he deserved this award overall. I think it definitely should have gone to Hassan Whiteside, who averaged 4 blocks a game throughout the entire season, 3.7 to be exact, but I like to round up. That's unheard of. 4 blocks every game? I mean, you couldn't go inside the paint. You had to shoot jumpers or definitely 3-pointers a lot just to beat him. Oh my gosh, 4 blocks It's absolutely wonderful job by Hassan Whiteside. I wonder if he ever got a double-double that season with points and blocks. Like, that would be interesting to make a video on his 2015-2016 season, so look for that coming up. And finally, or not finally, but probably the most deserving award winner in NBA history, the sixth man of the year in the 2015-2016 season, went to none other than future Hall of Famer Jamal Crawford. The 35-year-old legend put up 14 points a game and was the heart and soul of that Los Angeles Clippers team. I'm surprised it didn't get more votes for MVP. One of the greatest players to ever wear the Clippers jersey by far. And the final award, the most improved player. This is very fun to look back on because the top three players are all crazy good now. Number one, the guy who won it, CJ McCollum, who's always been in the shadow of somebody, whether it be LaMarcus Aldridge or Damian Lillard. He broke out the season, averaging about 20 points a game. And coming in second was Kemba Walker, who now plays for the Celtics. He played for the Bobcats at the time. The Hornets, not the Bobcats. And I mean, he averaged 20 points a game there. Lots of arguments could be made that he deserved that award, but CJ McCollum just came out of nowhere and dropped 20 points every game, so that was very impressive. And then coming in third was none other than future MVP winner Giannis Antetokounmpo. I mean, he averaged 16 points a game. He got a lot of rebounds, but he definitely wasn't the most improved player. He looked to be overhyped until that season when he finally showed his, not full potential, but more potential than he had shown in previous seasons. Very impressive how he's grown from not even getting most improved player to MVP in a couple of seasons. And that will pretty much sum up the video. Don't forget to comment and like down below. Comment which video you would like to see next. I will be doing a playoff predictions video as soon as the playoffs are confirmed. And I'll see you guys next time.